It's still cold out there. All right, it is the last day. My nose is cold. Last day of January. And so we finished up with a snowstorm. Well, it was kind of wild. So this snowstorm went from like West Texas all the way across the middle of the South and then up to the Northeast. And we're ready to get back going again here, get our veggies going. You know, people are starting to get the itch for springtime planting and flowers. I can already feel it in the air, but it's cold today still. We're looking at, I think it's like 16, 17 degrees outside right now, and the wind chill's making it feel a lot colder. And we're looking at a high of like 31 today. Now, yesterday it was pretty warm. It got up into the 50s, so 18 below zero in Pittsburgh, someone says. Wow. Yeah, it's chilly here too. Not that cold. Most of the snow and ice has melted now, at least off of the streets here. So went out this morning and the streets are fine. So that's the good news. So it's just cold out. So if you want to, support your local businesses, go out and eat at a local restaurant, support local, because a lot of these local businesses have been closed for 3, 4, 5 days. So anywhere you want to go that's locally family owned today, that would be a good thing to do, as people have missed out on business for several days. So appreciate y'all joining this morning, and it would be a good day to get going on your gardens. Well, aside from the cold, maybe after today, but starting tomorrow maybe, because as we start to warm back up and get into February is like crucial time for your gardens. So I've got a video coming out tomorrow talking more in depth about that. But February, there are so many gardening tasks to do because everything is about to start waking up, is on the cusp of waking up. So things like pruning your roses, things like trimming trees, trimming fruit trees, pruning them, planting onions, planting potatoes, and getting your cool season veggies in the ground, pre-emergent for your lawn. There's all kinds of stuff that you need to be doing. And then also planning for landscape design. If you're planning on getting landscape projects going, then now is the time to be planning and thinking about that, because the earlier you can plant trees and shrubs, the better off it is. Most people wait till April before they really want to go plant trees and shrubs, but the problem with waiting till April, that's when we're busiest, for one. But the bigger problem is by the time you are planting trees and shrubs in April, here in the South, it's going to get hot right after that. So it can stress out those newly planted trees when you plant them in April, and all of a sudden May comes along, June's right there, and it's 100 degrees and it's dry. So if you can get trees and shrubs planted now, late winter, you got a couple more months of them to get roots established in the cooler weather, and hopefully spring rains, and then they'll be more resilient for summer. So if you are wanting to get things planted and work on landscape projects, we are doing a class today. Let me double check the time. I should probably know that. We're doing a class today about landscape design called Dreamscapes Landscaping 101, and that's at 2 o'clock today. We still have a few spots available for that. So if you're wanting to learn how to kind of be empowered to do landscape design, then that's a good one to join, because I'm going to teach you the basics of landscape design, how to solve problems, how to put together landscape designs that'll last, and then that will kind of, the point of this is to empower people so that they can feel ready to work on their own landscapes and put together some meaningful landscape designs on their own with some simple tools. And then it's also, this would be a good class if you are a beginner landscaper. So say there's a lot of landscape companies that all started off by just cutting grass. So if you look at some of the biggest landscape companies, you know, in your city, in your region, a lot of those guys, if you trace them back to the beginning, they started off by just cutting grass, you know, mow, blow, and go. And then over time, homeowners will be like, hey, since you're here, can you clean out my flower beds? Oh, sure, we can do that. That's an upsell. And then, you know, after we clean out the flower beds, how can we, what can we put in there afterwards? So a lot of people that started off, you know, cutting grass, they don't necessarily know a lot about plants initially, but out of necessity and out of wanting to grow their business, they start taking on more and more landscape projects. And so we get that a lot here, where landscape companies will come in and they don't necessarily know a lot about plants yet, but they are learning. And so a class like this where they're able to go in and just learn the basics of landscape design, it helps them to serve their clients better. So this would be a fun one for those types of people too, that are just wanting to kind of hone their knowledge, or homeowners that want to work on landscaping on their own and kind of DIY it. And then tomorrow we got another class coming up about microgreens, and that's a fun one too because it's interactive. So you'll get to plant microgreens and get them planted and take a kit home and grow microgreens at home. So that's a great one as well, so that you can have some healthy greens to grow inside your home. And microgreens are like the easiest thing to grow. So super cool there. 1 second here. All right, well, we're gonna walk around. I have some things to show you. Out in the greenhouse. It's cold out there. Good morning. But first, we're gonna walk out here because it's warmer in the houseplant greenhouse. There's not a live stream option for the classes at this moment. I'm working on it. I'm working on getting some classes online for people that are not local to us though. So unfortunately this class will not be live streamed, but maybe we can get it online soon for people that are wanting to support us from afar and learn. All right, let me turn this camera around. Sorry, I'm trying to juggle multiple phones here. All right, so in here, we're doing some remodeling, moving stuff around in the trop house, in the houseplant greenhouse. Because we got Valentine's Day coming up, and that's a good time to be purchasing houseplant gifts for people. And we should have a nice new shipment of houseplants coming in before Valentine's Day as well. We've got quite a lot of beautiful things in stock at the moment, but we'll have more coming up as we get closer to Valentine's Day. This is another one that's fun. Anthuriums, flowering anthuriums are a great one. Good little houseplant with those heart-shaped blooms. That's a fun Valentine's gift. Bromeliads, I love bromeliads. Look at the poinsettia over here. 3-year-old poinsettia. Blooming like crazy. Did you know they get that big? They get bigger than that, so. Anyhow, we're doing a lot of cleanup and rearranging and organizing because getting ready for spring. That's what we do right now in wintertime is we prep for spring. So we got a new concrete pad that's going to go in here in the next week or so. This is actually going to be fountains. So we've got our electrical ready to go, and we're going to have a fountain display here. Oh, Felicia wants to see the fig tree. Remember last year we butchered this fiddly fig so that we could put the new roofs on the greenhouse. We cut it way back. Look at it. Look how much it's grown. It's grown probably 3 feet since we cut it back last year. It grows like crazy. It's looking gorgeous right now. That fiddly fig is less than 5 years old, so they grow really fast when they're in the right conditions. All right, so this tomato plant's going crazy. That's the tomato plant that we grow hydroponically with our fish food. With our fish poop. These fish fertilize that tomato plant. Oh, Felicia said, did I see Des comments? Let me go back and see. I can. Sorry, Des. Couldn't see your comment. Because I've got 2 phones going at the same time, and so sometimes I'm just looking at the wrong screen, so I miss a comment. There's Poppy. Oh, and Callie. Callie does not like Poppy. Drama. Okay, let's walk out into the other greenhouses. Petunia's over here. I bet she's not going to come inside though. Oh, she did go inside. Usually she just sits by the door, and then when it opens, she just keeps sitting there. Heaters are on out here. So I mentioned that now that the snow is melting, it would be a great time to get onions in the ground. Right now, it's actually the perfect time to get onions planted. So we've got those. We got plenty of onions in stock right now. Not sure what this will look like after this weekend, but we'll get more after this weekend. But at the moment, we've got a lot of onions started. This one, the Texas 1015Y, is our most popular. It's a sweet yellow onion. They call it the 1015Y. 1015 is when they plant the seeds, October 15th. And then they harvest them as onion sets. And we sell them now in January and February. That's the one we sell the most, though. We have a sale going on for cool season flowers. So pansies, snapdragons, we're clearing those out as we get ready for our spring plants. So you'll see some pansies and snapdragons over here. Violas, those are all $10 a flat right now until they're gone. And then we'll be moving spring plants in here. Speaking of, these are all perennials that we've just planted. They're not ready to sell yet, but we've got a lot of great perennials here. They're just starting to get rooted, and then we'll be moving those over to our perennial houses. It's just warmer in this side, so we take advantage of the warm greenhouse space and let them get rooted in here before we move them over to the other side as we approach spring. And some of our desert plants are still in here inside the retail greenhouse because it was cold. We didn't want them to get cold damaged outside. So those will be shifting around as well once we get past these cold snaps. Who knows what the weather's going to be doing? It may warm up. Sometimes February is kind of a a crapshoot for us. So February can be warm and nice in the beginning of spring, or February could turn cold. I'm rooting for a warm February, early spring. So someone was asking if what we recommend for our area would be the same for central Oklahoma. For the most part, yes. You know, when it comes to, say, like planting onions, you might be a couple of weeks later than we are. So if I say plant your onions in late January here in central Oklahoma, it might be better for you to wait till, you know, the first or second week of February. But for the most part, yes. A lot of similar plants, similar climate, central Oklahoma and North Texas. Our roses are almost, let me walk over there before we go back to the back. The roses are just about ready to start selling. If you've been following along with that video series, we've been checking on them daily, and they're about ready to pull the covers off of them so that we can get them some sunlight, more sunlight, and airflow, which is important. So probably after this weekend, we're going to uncover those roses, and then we'll be ready to start selling them. They're still young and small, but a lot of people want to start buying them early. Oh, there's hellebores over here. Haha! How cool is this? They just got planted last week, so they're young still, but they're already flowering. So they call these hellebores or Lenten roses. Oh, sorry. And they are winter bloomers. So they give you winter color. They call them Lenten roses because usually they're blooming, depending on what part of the country you're in, they'll be blooming right around Lent. But really unique looking plants, cool looking plants that will grow in shade around here in North Texas. Shade or partial shade. So it's a good one for giving color in shadier spots. So glad to see those. They're starting to gain popularity over the last few years. Okay, I do want to take you back to our production greenhouses in the back, which means I'm going to have to go across the cold alleyway, which I'm not looking forward to. But it's only about 20 feet long, so we'll make it. Because I want to show you there's some stuff that's actually starting to bloom now. Some of the spring things are growing. So we're going to go back. So we didn't get to do it live last week because it was all snowed in. Oof, the door was frozen shut. Ooh, it's cold. All right, let's go in here. It'll be warm in here though. All right, so I know it looks empty over here, but they're actually starting to get hanging baskets hung up. So pretty soon we're gonna be taking up all this space up above the tables with hanging baskets. And that's so that we can free up table space for more of the flowers that can't be hung up. So all these empty tables are gonna get filled up here in the next few weeks because they are planting. They're planting tens of thousands of plants every week at this point as we lead up to spring. You can see some of our younger geraniums that were planted a week ago over here. These are some geraniums that were planted in the fall, so they've got a lot more size on them. Those will be ready early. Got some hanging basket geraniums. All of these hanging baskets will get hung up as well. I think we're gonna grow like upwards of 10,000 hanging baskets this year. Petunias are blooming. These are ones that we'll use for the home and garden show. Doesn't that look like spring? We've got Calibrachoa starting to bloom over here. These are going to be hanging baskets as well. We just haven't put the hangers on them yet. Are these the hangers we need? No, those are 4-strand. No, those are 3-strand. Hold on. I could do a live demo. There's so much work to do always in the greenhouse. So the hanging baskets and the hangers are shipped separately. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. So we actually have to have someone go through and, where's my clip? There it is. Go through and clip on each individual strand, which I'm very slow at. It's not easy with one hand. I got 2 out of 3 on. Let me find the other slot over here. I gotta set this down a second. Hold on. Hold on. Doesn't help that my fingers are frozen. Okay. So yeah, that's one of the greenhouse jobs that we have to do, is get the hangers clipped onto all the baskets. All of these. These over here. Those white ones are also hanging baskets. Everything you see, all of these, those are all hanging baskets. All those black pots on the far table are all hanging baskets. So yeah, that's another job we got to do over the next few weeks, is get those hangers clipped onto all those baskets. There's plenty of work to be done. So it's just, there's always something to do. And then once those hangers are clipped on, we'll put them up onto these bars up here. And then this is what we'll water those plants with. So in a production greenhouse, there's no shortage of work. I forgot my coffee over here. Let me grab that. I got gas station coffee today because I actually slept in. I didn't sleep in on purpose. I just didn't set an alarm, because typically, even if I don't set an alarm, I just wake up at 6. And today I woke up, I looked, and it was 7, and I couldn't believe it. I slept till 7. Heaters are going. All right, so over here, things are really starting to get color. Someone's asking where we're located. We're in Wichita Falls, Texas. North Texas. 6-inch geraniums are looking really good. Mandavillas are starting to take off. Those are going to need to go to a bigger pot really quickly and get on a trellis. So these geraniums are about ready to space. So that's another job that we do. When we first plant these geraniums, they're all smushed together like this. But you can't keep them together like this because they'll all start intertwining with each other. And then you can't take them apart, and then they get all misshapen. So here in the next week or two, the team is going to be taking these and actually spreading them out all the way down to the ends of the table. That way they've got proper spacing and they'll grow the right way. Still have a few plants to plant. It's Corsican mint. How cool is that? Good morning, y'all. These are petunias. They haven't started blooming yet, but as the days start to get longer, those petunias will start blooming like crazy. This is a new series of Rex begonias that I'm excited about because they could actually be planted outdoors in the landscape. They're looking really good too, even though they're still young. But I've been told that this is the easiest Rex begonia to grow. It's the Space Star Rex begonias. They're brand new. We're gonna have just limited numbers on those, but I'm excited to have those this year. Now, I gave a goal to our grower, Greg. I said, Greg, I do not want to run out of sweet potato vine this year, because every spring we run out of sweet potato vine, like on the busiest weekends in March and April. So this year we've started our sweet potato vine early. We're going to be propagating it as fast as we can, and I do not want to run out of sweet potato vine this year. We'll see if that happens, but it is so popular here in Texas, especially this old school variety called Marguerite, which is a very vigorous chartreuse colored variety, and people just can't get enough of it here because it's so easy. Someone's asking if we'll have vanilla strawberry hydrangea. I don't know. I will check on that to see if we can get it. I don't have it right now, but I'll see if we can find it. Speaking of strawberry, we got strawberry plants. We'll be putting these out for sale soon. We're just waiting for this cold to pass, and then we'll start bringing these up front because strawberries need to be planted early in the spring. So probably within the next week or so, we'll be pulling strawberries up front. Oh shoot, it's 8:30. I lost track of time. I gotta get back up front. We have our staff meeting this morning at 8:30. Hopefully you're having a nice relaxing morning inside the house because it's cold out. Someone said in Pittsburgh it was -8. Yeah, no, that's too cold. It was in the teens here this morning. It's gonna warm up to a balmy 31 degrees today. But hopefully the sun will be shining and maybe we'll still continue to get the snow melted off the ground. I am ready for the snow and ice to be gone. Turns out it's hard to sell plants when people can't see the ground because it's covered in snow. I feel sorry for the northern garden centers who get like 4 months where you can't see the ground. We had, 5 days where you couldn't see the ground, and it just killed our sales for late January. Yeah, it's cold out here. So I'm ready for all that ice to be gone, for it to warm up, for people to get the itch to come buy some plants. There's petunia. All right, I'm heading back up. We got our staff meeting this morning, and we're gonna get ready for the day. It's gonna be chilly today, but it'll start warming up again next week. Come get onions and potatoes planted, and appreciate y'all joining. Hope to see you very soon. How do I end this? Oh, there it is.